sixes, let's start. Alright, let's talk about the list, the general contact list that I'm going to give you here in the demarcation. Please know that these are just examples and that you are supposed to study a bit more than just examples. Now I'm going to talk about the comparing of fractions, which is the first question. So, let's just not have this funny thing on. And I'm not slipping all these videos. Okay, so if I've got 2/3, and we always put a star because we don't know, and I've got 3/9, please remember there's more than one way of doing it. And the one way I showed you was the butterfly method, when you take those two numbers and you multiply and you get 18. You go from top to bottom. Here you take 3 and 3 times 3 is 9, bottom to top, and then you can see that 18 is bigger than 9. That's not the only way you could have done it. You could have said 2/3 star 3/9. You could have compared your denominators. So if you had to make this an equivalent fraction and multiply it by 3, what you do to the top, you do to the bottom, you would get 6/9, and then you'd also see that 6/9 is bigger than 3/9. Happy? My famous quote. Equivalent fractions is 6 and I don't know equals 3/9. Now the one way of doing this is, again, you've got a 3, you've got a 6. What did I do to the 3 to get to a 6? I times by 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So what I do to the top, I do to the bottom, and I get 18. Therefore my missing number here is 18. Here is my fraction. Okay, got it? Next one. If I say 6 over I don't know equals something over 9, maybe you don't know this method I've just shown. You could also use the butterfly method. Because of that equal sign, you know that 6 times 9 is 54. So therefore something times 3 must be 54. So then you do the inverse, and 54 divided by 3 is going to give you your missing 18. Happy? Make sense so far? Fantastic. Right, simplifying of fractions. Let's move up. So the one example I've got here is 3/9. To simplify a fraction, you need to find your highest common factor. So I take the 3 and I go 1 times 3. There are no other factors because 3 is a prime number. 1 times 9 is 9. 3 times 9 is 3. The number that comes up top and bottom is 3. That is your highest common factor. You take that 3 and you divide by 3, and you should get 1/3. So 3/9 is 1/3. Let's choose another fraction. Let's say I've got 18/24, and you don't know what to divide by, although I'm assuming you do because you're clever. I'd say 1 times 18, double and half. Remember my trick? Oh, it's odd now, so I'm going to go 3 times 6, and if I double in half, I'm going to get the same. Now I go 1 times 24, double in half, still double in half because it's even. Oops, half is 6. I'm going to use my magical pen. Love my pen. And I get 4 and 6. And is there anything else? One more. How about double and half? There we go. Now I've got all the prime factors, all the factors of 24. What comes up top and bottom? Let's look. We're matching, matching, matching. And hopefully you notice 6. So your highest common factor is 6. So I will divide by 6. And that will give me, and here's your answer. This is the beauty of it. You've decided that this is your highest common factor, but there's your answer, staring you in the face. The answer is 3/4. Right, on the list, let's get back to the list here. The prime numbers: 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31. Just learn them. In fact, make sure that you even up to 17. That's good to go. The next one is your properties of 0 and 1. This is how I test it. Go back to your old papers and please go and multiply these things. Okay? Divided by 1, because 1 times 1, answer will be 0. Remember, the only time it is undefined is if I've got 24 divided by 0. That is undefined. Okay, everything else will be 0. So look at them. They're nice, trick little questions. Can you see this next one quite clearly? Place value. You can. Now this is very simple, place value. So what I suggest you do is put the 4 on top and then count zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and don't forget the 4. Okay. My wizardry pen. Love my wizardry pen. So my next number is going to be 1. Count the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the 1. Okay, by doing this, I'm not making a mistake with the zeros. I hope you've realized that now. Oh, my magical pen. I've got them all. 4 I have. 4 I've got. So the next number is 7. 7, count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Work backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put the 7. Notice that I'm getting my spacing correct. Let's take that out of there. 8 is there. There's my 8. It's there. My missing number here. 9, 1, 2, 3. I think you knew this. That was a nice, easy one. 100 we've got. 2 we've got. So 60 is the missing number. Okay, it took me a bit longer, but did I make a mistake? No. Did I get a mark? Yes. Fantastic. Right, arranging decimals, up and down. Ascending is from, what's the answer please? You can tell me quickly. Ascending, smallest to biggest, descending down, like a flight of stairs. It's high at the top and small at the bottom. What is the first step with these fractions, guys? Well, I mean decimal numbers. What am I looking for? Yes. So now I'm going to go count. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Oops, is missing. Got 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I am going to YouTube this as well when I've got time, so you can listen to yourselves when you answer me. The moment you've got three digits equally behind the comma, you must almost pretend that those zeros don't exist now. Alright, so you got 733, 730, 768, 763, and 710. And from there, you can go in your ascending order from little to big, or descending from big down to small. Okay. For the next one, I'm going to venture off onto paper again. So let's throw that piece over there. I'm going to just draw myself a table. Probably untidy. Okay. I'm going to try and make 4 columns. And now I'm going to do this randomly. Okay, you can make this up and then you can check it with a calculator, or you can get your folks to help you. So let's say I'm going to put 35% here. I put 0,2 here. Let's say I put 75 over 100 here. And let's put a quarter here. Oops, and I want one more. You can see this is very neat. And let's put 1,6. I'm going to start at the top. From here, I would go straight to this one here because I know that my denominator is 135. Then remember, if there's two places behind, or two zeros, we're using two places behind the comma, 0.35. To simplify your fraction, I would divide by 5. 35 divided by 5 is, please, everyone? 7. Fantastic. And 100 divided by 5, hopefully you know, is 20. You should learn it off by heart. Okay, this guy, before you get confused, make it 2 over 10, because there's one digit behind the comma, 10. But we all know that if we multiply this by 10, we've got 20 over 100. Immediately you can go to 20%. But let's make this magically disappear again and leave me with 2 over 10. This is even, so the simplest way to get your answer is 1 over 5. This one goes straight here to write 75%. From here, 0.75. And this is one that you can learn off by heart, or you have to calculate it. You divide by 25. And if you knew, and you do know, what is the answer? Fantastic, 3/4. This one, a quarter, immediately you should just know that it's 25%. Learn it off by heart. Know that it is 25 over 100. And this one would be 0.25. This one is a tricky one. Okay. If I were you, I would add a 0, so I could say 160 over 100. Okay. If you look at these ones here, okay, 35, 35%. Okay, 20. Okay, that's not 20. It's not 0.20, but I'm just for argument's sake. 75, 35. So this, and whatever's in front of the comma, because now I'm just teaching you patterns, it's going to be 160%. Okay, everything that is on top of the 100, make it the percent. Okay, see the pattern. Now we need to simplify. So in order to simplify now, I'm going to remove that 0, and by doing that I'm actually dividing by 10. I've now got 16 over 10, so if I simplify that, I'm going to have 1 and 6 over 10. But that is not simple enough, because I can halve it, because it's even, dividing by 2, and I've got 1 and 3/5. Just sunk in? Yeah. Yeah, you want to hear your voices once in a while on the video? Now I'll put it on soon. Alright, so now this is the factor method, and we are using prime factors. So when you see this question about the ladder, start writing down your prime factors. Go to the next one, please. And. Okay, we'll just stop there for argument's sake. Write down your prime factors, because that's what you must use. You already see the answer to this one, so I'm going to do another one, and I'm just going to do 120 as my number. Draw a line. Because this number is even, it is your best interest to divide by 2. Okay, and you divide by 2 for as long as it is even. It just makes it easier. It's not the only method, but it makes it easier. So 120 divided by 2 is going to give you 60. Okay, it is still even, so I'm going to keep on with my 2, and I'm going to get, it is still even, so I'm going to go with 2, and I'm going to get, alright, now it's no longer even, so that's not an option. You can go straight to 5 or pick up the list, depending. I'll go 5, as we heard here, next door to me, and I'm going to get 3, and well, I'm now going to have to, so I've used that one, and now I'm going to use 3, and I'm going to have to finish with 1. Okay, you have to end with 1. You're then going to take these numbers, and you write them down. We like them in numerical order, because you know math teachers, we're funny people, eh? So now I've got 2, 2, 2, 3, and 5 in numerical order, and it must be a time sign, otherwise you will lose a mark. For those of you who think you're super smart, and I know that you are super smart, you can say 2 to the power of 3 times 3 times 5. I will mark either that or that, but not both. Okay, and I do mark that if you want to know. Right, the next question, highest common factor. How to work it out. Well, I'm going to show you to work it out with fractions, so let me get back. My question is 18 and 72. What do we want? We want the highest common factor. So, just for argument's sake, just write it to look like a fraction. Okay, it's just a method of mine, and it works nicely. I take 18 and I say 1 times 18. Because 18 is even, I double and I half. Oh, odd. Now I'm going to go 3 times 6, and if I double and half, I get the same. Stop. That is the end of my factors. 1 times 72. I double it and I halve it. What do I get, please, everyone? 36. Hey? 36. Thank you. Still even, so I double and I halve it, and I get? Still even, so I double it and I halve and I get? Okay, but now my brain's telling me, hold on, I don't need to keep on finding more and more factors of 72 because something's just come up. What is the highest possible number I can have here? 18. I've just struck on 18 over here. Okay, so that means that is going to be my highest common factor is 18. So if you had to write it in a sentence, you'd say the highest common factor for 18 and 72 is 18. Happy with that one? Yeah. Okay, for this one, I can't remember if I actually gave you blocks or not. It says subtract the sum of, okay, from. Right, let's just check here. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are first going to add, and we're going to go 4, 5, 2, 6, 2. The only reason why I'm using blocks is because some of you can't stay straight, and it does help. Sum of means to add. Right, let's add it. 4, what do we get here? 13. Carry, what do we get? And here, and here. Okay, so now I've got my adding sum, but now I've got to subtract this from. So now I'm going to take my 1, 2, 3, 4. Very ingenious numbers here. You can see that I was messing on the computer. And then I take my 4, 3, 8, 6, 7 minus. Okay, I'm just going to finish in blue. Nice and easy. I get 3. This one I get? 3. This one? 3. Go and borrow. So this becomes 3. What is 15 minus 8? 7. 3 I can't. Go and borrow. And this becomes? And this one I can't as well. So I'm going to go and borrow again. And this is going to be? Okay. So marking in a test or exam, your marks will come in there. I will also be looking that you've got the sum of, and well, the word subtract is in the question, so you're not going to get a half a mark for that. Right, let's move on. Rate and ratio. Am I on? Yes, I am. Move it up. Okay. Rate and ratio, pretty straightforward. I've got a test of a new car results in 420 kilometers and 10 liters. So it's 420 kilometers, dot, dot, 10 liters. How far could it go in 60? Liters under liters. This is straightforward. From here, what did you do? I times by 6. What I do to the right, I do to the left. And my genius people, I've got 420 times 6. How much is it, please? What? 2080. Okay, I want to trust you, and the answer is kilometers. Right, fractions. This is the one I worry about most. Let's get rid of this piece of paper. Gone. Out, out, and away. Okay, my question is here 15 over 18. I'm going to write extra big plus 6 over 9. I could actually simplify this fraction by dividing by 3, or I could multiply. I'm going to choose to multiply right now. So if I multiply by 2, why am I multiplying by 2? Because I need my denominators to be the same, and 2 times 9 is 18. From there, I'm going to have 15 over 18 plus, hello, okay. Now I've got 12 over 18, my denominators are the same, I'm allowed to add, and when I add, I get 27 over 18. Very, very important now, I must get rid of my improper fraction. 18 goes into there one whole time. What is my remainder? 9? 9 over 18, and hopefully you realize that it actually is a half, that you don't even need to do that, that you would go straight there. Whoops, there. Now you'll get full marks for the question. Let's go to the one next door. Change color. I've got 7 over 8 plus 3 over 4. Again, I'm looking at my denominators. I need them to be the same, so I'm going to pick the 4 and I'm going to multiply by 2. I've got 7 over 8. And your fractions may not change sides. They've got to stay on the side that they are. This is going to give me 6 over 8. And when I add it, what am I going to get? How much?
13 over 8.
Right, I have an improper fraction. Let's get rid of it. 8 goes into 13 how many whole times? And how much over? 5 over 8. And chances are that's not going to go any further because 5 is a prime. Right. Done, 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 done. Let's do the next one. Okay, please notice in highlighted here, I've said we're changing one denominator, and I want to see the converting of improper fractions, to make improper fractions. So, I've got 2 and 5 over 18 minus 1 and 6 over 9. The first thing we do is we're going to multiply that. What is 2 times 18? Add 5, please. Over. Okay. Minus. Let's multiply this. We get 9. 9 plus 6 is? Over 9. Notice now that the 9 is not 18, so I'm going to now change my denominators by timesing by 2. And I'm going to have 41 over 18 minus 30 over 18. And when I subtract, what am I going to get? 11 over 18. 11 is also a prime, and my sum will be there. But if I could simplify, I would simplify. You always, always, always simplify a fraction. The next one that gave you guys a bit of a headache is this one. So let's start it off. 20% of 320. The first step, change this to a fraction. Percent denominator is always 100. Times. Of means times. Disguise 320 as a fraction. Over 1. Now do yourself a favor and cancel 1 for 1. What am I left with? 2 over 1 times 32 over 1. Now technically you can take those ones away, or you can keep it looking like a fraction. I'm just going to keep it looking like a fraction. And now that we've finished multiplying, because you know we multiply in a straight line, okay, I take the disguise away and I get 64. If there was rands here, you must have rands in your answer. Whatever is here must be here. If you're given a question, please, the percent is always in front of the whole number. Moving on. BODMAS. My next favorite thing. In fact, I'm not too sure what I don't like about maths. I think I like everything. Right, I have 5 minus 2 bracket times 5. I do the bracket first and I get 3. Times stays under times. 5 comes down until its turn. And its turn is now, and I get 15. Okay, you get marked for almost every new number. The next question was 7 times 3 plus 16 divided by 4. If you look, there's 2 sets of royalty, as I call it. Okay, they're going to get crowned. So this is now going to be 21. And because they're crowned, they can both be done at the same time. The plus sign is waiting. It's waiting its turn. And your final answer is 25. The next one, some of you did this wrong in the test. 2 times 2 plus 10. Now I've always got a story when I do these things. I always pretend, okay, now here's the royalty carriage. Because remember, it's brackets first. Okay, and inside the royalty carriage, we have a times and a plus. Well, times is the ruler inside the carriage, so the brackets will stay, and this will be multiplied. This must come down at the same time until its turn. I now finish the brackets, and I finish off with 20. Right. Moving on. Alright, I've already done rate to ratio. In fact, this is a repeat question and a new question, but so I'm going to move on. I'm going to go to time. I've got 3 years and 4 months minus 1 year and 11 months. Okay. Now we're going to go and borrow. So this is going to become 2. This is where I like you to show your borrow. What did you borrow? I borrowed 1 year, and over here it's 12 months. Okay, notice the little things I do by circling the numbers. What have I got now? 2 years and how much? 16? Anyone? 16 months? Okay, minus 1 year and 11 months. And 16 minus 11 gives me 5 months, and over here I got 1 year. Okay, so this is the way I'd like you to set that out, and it actually makes it easier and less scribbling all over the place. Alright, I'm not going to really go through patterns, I'm just going to go through this very briefly. You just look for the rule. If you look what's happening on the bottom line, okay, you can calculate the rule. For a person who actually gets confused, this is normally your left-hand side of your flow diagram. Your rule would come in the middle, and the 5, 25, 50, etc. Okay, would go in, and you'd go from there to the rule and out. If you've got this at the bottom, 500, you must do the opposite to the rule to get the missing number on that side. You've been doing these for like the last 100 years. So, moving on. Right, calculating perimeter. I'm just going to make these numbers bigger. 2, 1, 4, 3. Can you see my numbers there? Okay. So, the horizontal numbers, as I call them, will help me find the horizontal number. And the vertical sides and numbers will help me find the other number. When is this perimeter? Bottom line, 2 plus 1 plus 4 plus 3 plus 6 plus 4. And what is the answer, please, everyone? Add it quickly. 20 centimeters. It is not squared. Perimeter is not squared. You kill me if you square it. Right, this one I actually wrote out for you. I'll write it again. Area equals length times breadth. That is called a formula. I then take my length and I say 8 kilometers times 5 kilometers. Area equals 40 kilometers squared. How to remember it is squared? 1, 2, 2. Okay, area is squared. Now if I do volume, I've got volume equals length times breadth times height, and you normally get half a mark for that. My numbers, and I hope you can see them. I'm going to say 12 times 5 times 2, and when you multiply that, what do you get? I'm hoping you're getting, how much? 120?
120. Yeah.
Okay, 120 centimeters cubed. Cubed. How many letters do you have here, and how many numbers did you multiply? You have 3 letters, so please it must match. And that's the easiest way I can tell you to remember. Right, I think you have forgotten to do this. That's why I'm showing you this. This is total area. Total area is of a 2D shape. Surface area is 3D. I'll come to that. This is when you split it into area 1 and area 2. You would work out these numbers. Okay, and now I'm going to say area 1 equals length times breadth. And now, just let me take my ruler. Sorry. It's okay, because I want to hide this away. Okay, and my numbers here are 2 and 4, so I'm going to write it down, and it's in centimeters, so I get 8 centimeters squared. I'm now going to do my next calculation. A2 equals length times breadth, so I hide that away. This 6 is actually of this whole line, so I don't really need the 6 in this calculation, but the length of the drawing is 4 and my width is 3. So 4 times 3 centimeters is going to give me 12 centimeters squared. These 2 letters there. Now, total area of the shape is 8 centimeters squared plus 12 centimeters squared, giving me a total of 20 centimeters squared. Area is always squared. That's a different sum. So let me quickly do a total surface area sum. Let me just do that. Surface area is this one. Surface area is with a 3D shape. So if I put 4 there and 5 there, and I need a height, let's say 3. This is where I say area, this is okay, surface area equals length times breadth. So now we have a top and we have a bottom. We've got a left, we've got a right, we've got a front, and we have a back. Okay, so now I'm going to choose top and bottom. So my top is here. Okay, and I'm going to choose 5 and 4. And I'm going to get 20 centimeters squared. But all I've done is work out the top, and if I double it, I get the bottom, and that's 40 centimeters squared. I'm now going to work out, let me work out left and right. So now if I look here, left and right is 4 and 3. So I go 4 times 3 centimeters is going to give me 12 centimeters squared. But all I've done is this, that's the left side. To have the right side, I times it by 2 and I get 24 centimeters squared. But I'm not totally finished because I haven't done the front and the back. This is marks for jam if you get this. Here is my front, okay, front and back. It's quite handy to put these letters in because it also helps your teacher for marking. I've got 3 and I've got 5. 5 times 3 is 15 centimeters squared. That is just the front. I double it to get the back, and it is 30 centimeters squared. But we're not finished because you haven't told me the total yet. So total area, and you take all the numbers, 40 centimeters squared. You can do that, tell me in a moment. I'm going to say plus 30 centimeters squared plus 24 centimeters squared, and the answer was squared, because it's area. It's squared, squared, squared. Stick with it. Area is always squared. Okay. Right, that's all of paper number 1. Let's quickly talk about paper 2. I've still got half an hour with you. Yes, you are my prisoners. My math prisoners. Okay, so I said to you now, please know the properties of a circle. Just draw yourself a circle. Center. What's that one? Radius. If I'm passing through, what have I got? Diameter. Okay, diameter, radius. Then if I'm going from one side and I'm just touching that side, chord. Okay, and if it's just brushing by the side, your tangent. And if it's cutting through, there we go. Done. That's all you have to know in grade 6 right now. Moving on. Alright, this one. It's very small, but I'll draw it up. I'm going to name it according to angles. Okay. My first drawing, it's so nice and perfect, so I'm going to put in my little square. What does that square mean? 90 degrees. Okay, if I'm naming it according to angles, it's a right angle triangle. If it's like this, okay, it's going to be an angle triangle. And if it's like this, it's a acute angle triangle. Please notice the word angle is with it because I have now named it according to angles. If now, let's say you had to name it according to sides, and your triangles had certain markings, if this and this had a single dash, it means that 2 of the sides are the same, so it would be isosceles. If this one had that and 2 and 3, it would be scalene. And if everything here was single, equilateral for equal. Okay? Gone. Next question. All triangles, when you add them up, are 180 degrees. You will always be given one that you need to calculate, so please write it down. Don't just give me the answer. I'm actually looking for the 180 in your sum. So 21, what do you get?
77.
Alright, then you'd say 180 minus 77, and some of you know that you've got to go and subtract, and you're going to get 103 degrees. Missing angle, 103 degrees. Okay, for the next one, I know it's not clear, but the arc is over here. I don't know if you can see the red pen. You read from 0, and you read it all the way up, and when you get to this line over here, you count it individually, and this one was 35 degrees. It was an acute angle. Okay, this is also a bit small. Luca, do you want to just zoom in a bit? Okay, take control. Let's see, zoom in some more. Zoom in some more if you can. Alrighty. Okay, you're in charge of camera. Stay there. Alright, the most important thing to know is that your X must be mentioned first. So I'm going to go to A. First over here is a 3, and there is a 2. If I go to B, 1 is first, and 1. Oh, that was easy. C, okay, X is 1, and this one would be minus 2. I don't know if I did that. Can't remember. Remember, I took this off your last assignment. Assignment 4. D, again, what's first? Minus 2, and then minus 2 on that line. And E would be minus 3. I think the ones in the test are actually a whole lot easier than that. But you read the X line, and the X line is the horizontal line, and Y is the long line. Right, transformations. Pick a spot on your drawing and then count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From there, it says down. 1, 2, 3. So now you must draw from the dot. Now, in the exam, I'm expecting you to use a ruler. But since I'm such a master, I'm allowed to just do freehand.
Well done, man.
Okay, and you have now translated, and you have now moved your drawing, and then it is correct, and it's exactly the same size and same number of blocks.
That looks neat though.
Right, where am I? There I am. With this one, I'm needing you to count the number of edges. Okay, this is vertices. Okay, count the edges, name the shapes. Okay, and compare some shapes. Right, this was the question that was removed. It was replaced with mode and median. This one here, again, this is all your, where is it? Ratio. Please go back into your books and go and look at it. I've already done that. Then, of course, I need you to zoom out a little bit for me now.
Like that?
There we go. Perfect. All right. Over here, please just read these questions very carefully. They are taken from Maths Olympiad papers, and just do solve with a little bit of logic. Please tell me you can count blocks. This isn't incredibly difficult, but count carefully because there's a lot of hidden blocks there. Okay? And there's a couple of layers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's stacked 5 high, so count carefully. There's a pattern. You can figure it out. And the last thing I've got here is I've got multiple choice questions on area, perimeter, volume. I printed something for the extra maths people. Now I actually wish I had it here. I want to remind you, if I have a square that is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, what is my perimeter? Okay. Does anybody remember what the diameter is? It's not 1.
1.4.
Okay, 1.4. So please remember that the diameter is slightly longer. So when you do have a perimeter calculation that goes, let's say, like this. Okay, let's pretend each block here is 1 centimeter. So this would be 1, 2, 3 centimeters, 2 centimeters, 1. This is 1.4 and 1.4. So that would be 2.8 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. And the final answer, please, is?
8.8.
Okay, would be 8.8. Please be careful with that. There it is. All right, 8.8. I can't think of any other questions. Do you guys have any questions that I can talk about?
No, not really. Improper fractions.
Okay, the making of an improper...
Or long division.
There's no long division in your paper.
Sorry.
It's not on the demarcation.
What's that?
Anything else? Okay, the percentage table... So, in my percentage table, the first one would be fractions and they have to be simplified. The next one I'm looking for denominator of 100. This one I'm looking for decimal number. And the next one here I'm looking for percent. So, Am I on screen? Yes. Okay. So I give you random numbers like 50%. Here I could say a decimal number of 0.25. We love a quarter as a fraction. And I actually need two more lines, but I'm just going to put one in for the moment. Okay, are you watching? And let me think. Yeah, I mean, I've asked this for you 3 or 4 times. This is actually quite important. Yeah. Yeah, I'm redoing it. So I'm going to say 7/10. And this one here. Okay, which one have I picked on? Okay, I'm going to do the 1,7 because that's always how it goes. First one here, you're looking. From here, go straight here because this you must know off by heart that the denominator to this is 100. From here, you know that your number must have 2 decimals. And then you simplify and you should recognize that that is a half. Okay, a lot of it is recognition. You've got to learn this. From here, it's got 2, so that means your denominator here is 100. 25. From here, you've got 25%, and this divide by 25. You've got to know your tables. Without knowing your tables, you will suffer. And this one is, oh no, I've done the same fraction here, quarter. If it was just 0,2, then that would be 2/10, which is then that, which would give me 20%. And this, if it was 2/10, whoops, sorry. If this was 2/10, I would halve it here to get 1/5. Okay. For here, I would add a 0 on, so I've got 170/100, so I'd make this 170%. And then this, it doesn't simplify other than 1 and 7/10. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I think I've gone pretty much over everything in the demarcation. Study hard, but don't overstudy. Eat well and come to the exams